I'm Zoe and I use they, them pronouns.
And I'm Jenny. I use she, they pronouns.
We both work at CrowdStrike and I'm the accessibility lead.
And I'm a UI engineer and CrowdStrike is hiring. Talk to Gonzalo and Michal, who are somewhere in the room with you if you're interested.
Today, we'll talk about the accessibility of the Space Jam websites. The real question is, which ones? There's the original one from 1996, a new one for the 2021 film, a UK-specific one with Cinema Times, and then a reworked one of the old one with updated graphics for the new film. Today, we'll look at the original one and the new one. So we'll use our finest tools to check their accessibility. We'll use a basic keyboard to check navigation. We'll use Apple's VoiceOver screen reader to look at the souvenirs shop, and the Sharky JAWS screen reader to play some Sharktastic games on Windows. Last but not least, we'll dive into the code with Chrome's DevTools. Before all of this seriousness, we'd love to tell you why we chose the Space Jam website to begin with.
We chose it for 3 reasons. Number one, it's perfect. Look at it. It's the perfect companion to the masterpiece that was the Space Jam movie, a movie about Bugs Bunny and Michael Jordan teaming up to play basketball against aliens. Number two, it's a time capsule. This website has not changed since its creation in 1996. Before I reveal reason number 3, let's look at the ragtag team that created the original. It was created by Darlene Weiss, Andrew Stackler, Jen Brown, Michael Tritter, and the team was led by Don Buckley with very little studio oversight. The team was largely composed of designers who taught themselves HTML. They used the latest web techniques available at the time to make a website that to this day stands the test of time. And this leads us to reason number 3, the new Space Jam website. Like the old one, it was created as a marketing website to promote the 2021 Space Jam movie featuring LeBron James. This is where the similarities seem to end. This new website had 2 decades worth of front-end development knowledge and expertise. And whereas accessibility was not a term widely used in the 90s, Warner Bros., like any large corporation, keeps on claiming that accessibility really, really matters to them. But does corporations promising to be accessible actually translate into accessible websites? And have 2 decades worth of tooling and expertise actually made the web more accessible? And most important question, is the new Space Jam movie any good? We will focus on these questions in our upcoming demos, where we'll use different tools on each of the 2 websites. And we will start with the first demo, which is the keyboard demo. So I will be using the keyboard to navigate from the landing page to any other page on the website and then back to the landing page. And for the demo, I'll be using the following keys. I'll use Tab to focus on various elements. I'll use Shift Tab to go to previous focus, and Enter to click on links, and Control Tab to go to the next browser tab. So let's begin first with the old website. So we are on the old Space Jam website. So I'll press Tab. We see the focus appear on the press box shuttle. And as I press Tab, we move along. You can nitpick that the tabbing order is inconsistent here, but no one's perfect. And right, we've done the whole loop behind the jam. Let's see what that page is about. I pressed Enter, we are on behind the jam. So in the middle of the page, we have an image with 4 sentences. And I wonder if those are just in the image or can we actually interact with them? So I press Tab and I'm on the Space Jam button and Tab again. Cool, I can actually focus on each of the sentences. Great, well, let's see if I can just focus on them, or if I press Enter, it will actually take me somewhere. So I press Enter and I'm on the character development page. Fantastic. Well, we've kind of already overdid what we set out to do. So I'll press Tab again. I really hope the Space Jam button will take me to the main page. So let's try that. We're back. Fantastic. Let's move on to the new website and see how that compares. So I'm pressing Control Tab and I'm on the new Space Jam website. And from the get-go, we have a problem. I'm not actually on the landing page. I am on the popover above the landing page. But I see that there's in the top right corner, there's a yellow square with a cross. I'm going to assume that that is the close button. So all I have to do is just tap through, close the popover, and then we can start the demo. So I press tab and I don't see focus, and I press tab again and I don't see the focus, but I know that it's focusing on something because if I look in the bottom left corner, I can see a URL. So it is focusing on something, but I cannot see on what because of the popover. Well, let's try pressing tab again. Okay, well, what if I click enter? Maybe it'll just take me to the synopsis page and I can, yeah, and that's how I skip the popover part. So I press enter and we actually see that the URL changed to synopsis, but I still don't see the page because the popover is there. So let's stick to the original plan. Let's just tab through the thing. So tab, 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 tabbing some more. Okay, I'm on the popover thing. So on mute now, settings, YouTube, full screen, and I'm out. I'm now on the Emberfest tab in Chrome. So yeah, we never managed to get to the close button. And essentially this demo can end here. Thank you very much for coming to our talk. We'll see you next year. A 25-year-old website allows us to navigate without any issues. And this new creation does not even allow us to get to the landing page. As much as I like to joke that a web developer's job is centering divs and creating buttons, we do get paid to make buttons that work. This is why there's always an outcry when someone publishes an article about a button that costs millions of dollars because it just doesn't work. And money aside, Zoe and I work for a cybersecurity company, which means that a working button could mean the difference between stopping a breach or not. And on this somber note, I pass the mic over to Zoe.
Thank you for that demo. That doesn't look too good though. So let's find out what's going on with this yellow box with a cross on it that's pretending to be a button. If we right click on it and choose inspect, we can have a look at the code. In the code, we see a div with an ID, some styling, and a data attribute. But it's definitely not a button. Maybe there's something inside of it. There's only 2 spans, so that's not going to do much. Maybe the accessibility tab can tell us a bit more. So behind these chevrons, we see accessibility. If we go there, we're presented with the accessibility tree, which basically gives us information or accessibility information about things on the website. There's also an ARIA attributes, which lists all of the ARIA attributes, of which there are none at this point. And it also tells us something about the computer properties, such as the name, which also doesn't exist. So let's use ARIA to fix that. That always works. So we'll add an attribute, and we'll do a role of button. And under ARIA attributes, we can see that we now have a role of button. So for all intents and purposes, this div is now a button. Great. But we still don't have a name. So let's just use more ARIA. That always works. So we'll do ARIA label, and it's a close button. So we'll call it close. Nice. So now we have a button with a label. That sounds pretty accessible. But as Jenny demonstrated, we can't actually get to it with the keyboard. That's because a div isn't in the tab order. We can fix that with tab index. So the tab index attribute, and we can set that to 0, which means that the element will be added to the tab order based on its location in the DOM. So if we try that out, we can press tab, Nothing has happened yet. Let's tab again. Okay, interesting. So I'm now in the video again. Maybe something else is going on with this button. If we set or force the stage to focus, maybe we can find something in the Styles tab. Okay. There we go. So focus has an outline of none, which is even made important. So essentially, this generic selector is removing the focus outline from all elements on this website, including our close button. So let's remove that and try again. So press tab, and now we can see it. We can get to the button. It's now a button. It has a name, and we can get to it. We can see the focus. So let's try to press it, and then maybe we can read what this movie is about. Pressing return, and it doesn't do anything. Oh, I really hope that will work. Maybe space? No. Okay. So it turns out that even with all of this semantic information added, it doesn't work for everyone. We'll come up with a solution during our talk, but maybe this is the point where you can take a screenshot or a photo and tweet your solutions at us, because we're interested in what you think. Conclusion. Adding ARIA and even a tab index doesn't turn a div into a button, at least not one that works for everyone. As Billy prompted, when UX doesn't consider all users, shouldn't it be known as some user experience or SUX? To find out if these websites work for all users or only some, we'll have to look beyond the pixels.
So let's do exactly that. And instead of looking at pixels, how about we listen to them? And we can use VoiceOver for that. VoiceOver is an Apple product, and it is on every Apple computer. And before jumping into the demo, I will walk you through the commands that I'll be using. So to start VoiceOver, depending on the keyboard, you either have to press Command and F5 or Command and press the Touch ID button 3 times. To navigate around it, you can use Control, Option, and then left or right arrow. Control Option keys are called the VoiceOver keys. So from now on, I'll just call them VO. When we press VO and U, it opens a web router. You will see what a web router is shortly. It's a VoiceOver thing. A thing to flag up really is that, so I'm a fully sighted user, and I use VoiceOver to check accessibility of features I've created, but I don't use it in my daily life. So that means the way I use VoiceOver will be very, very different from how an everyday user uses it. Yeah, let's do the demo. So first up is the old Space Jam website. And honestly, what we'll do is just look at one page called Stellar Souvenirs. I chose this page, well, because frankly, I have a lot of nostalgic feelings towards it. I was a kid in the 90s. So on the page, like on a different page of the old Space Jam website that we've seen, we have an image in the center. The image has 6 links, right? We know we can tab into them, but let's see if VoiceOver will recognize those links. And let's switch on VoiceOver first before we start. So I'll be pressing VOU.
Links menu.
So we see the web router opened up. Essentially, it's a collection of menus that you can cycle through. So let's see what is available to us.
Images menu. Window spots menu. Links menu.
Okay, so we're back to links. And okay, cool. So there were 6 links on the image. Here we actually have 8. So I guess we found a bunch of Easter eggs that if you're not using screen readers, you will never find. I am curious though where it's getting those links from. So let's see what haircut is all about, because frankly, after lockdowns, that is a sore subject. So let's start.
Link, screensaver frames HTML.
So as I press down, it will try reading out every single link. So I do apologize for the sensory overload that will happen now.
Link Link. Haircut HTML.
Cool. We're in the right place. So let's press enter.
Link. Haircut HTML. Chrome has new window.
So this is kind of cool. Like we can see the focus near the barber shop. And if I was not tabbing, but just using a mouse and my pair of eyes, I don't think I would have ever considered trying to click there. Well, let's see where it will take us.
Stellar souvenirs, web content.
And we're taken to a very sassy page. You can see that the original had very little studio oversight. Okay, I guess let's get out of here. And I press tab.
Visited link, get out of here. Chrome has new window. Stellar souvenirs, web content.
And we're out. Oh, well, let's see how the new website compares.
Link, home, list 7 items.
Going to use a mouse here. Okay. We're on the new Space Jam website. It hasn't really passed the first demo, right? We never got even off the popover onto the landing page. So let's just pretend that a friend who happens to have a mouse came by and they closed the popover for me and then navigated to the landing page. Let's actually, with this one, try and do the first demo again. So from the main page, let's navigate somewhere fun, like fun and games. So that is just moving a few steps and we're done. So I'm pressing voiceover keys and the right arrow.
Video, 2 of 7.
Okay, so I'm on the video, and if you have caught it, it's a 2 of 7. So it means voiceover recognizes that there are 7 links in the nav bar, but that's not true. There are actually 9. At this stage, I feel like, considering there is a button that actually does not work, I feel like picking out a number of links and saying, well, they're actually 9, not 7 is nitpicking, but you know what? Let's just try to get to fun and games.
Link, fun and games, 4 of 7.
Okay, and I'm pressing enter and we're here. There is a problem straight away again, because it did not read out that we changed the page and we're on the fun and games page. Because I'm a sighted user, I can see that the page changed, but if I was relying on the voiceover to tell me where I am, I would have no idea. And on this exasperated note, I pass over to Zoe to actually try playing those games. Good luck.
To try and play the games, we'll switch to JAWS. So let me first turn off voiceover.
Voiceover off.
Thank you. And then we'll switch to Windows. This is the new website running on Windows, and I'll start JAWS.
JAWS.
There we go.
Junior Cam dash group.
Okay, so we're now on the new website, and we're going to recreate the demo that Jenny just did. So I'll use the tab key to navigate to the different links.
Space Jam : A new legacy vertical bar official site. Same page link home.
Okay, so we're on the home link.
Video same synopsis same page. Fun and games same page link.
Okay, so we've learned that it's the same page link, so I would expect my focus to move to somewhere on this page. Let's press return to go there.
Enter same page link fun and games.
Okay, so I pressed the link, but I'm not being presented with the new page isn't being announced. That's the issue. Fortunately, JAWS has a bunch of key shortcuts that you can use to navigate around a page. So let's see what's on this page. I can press the Q key to look for a main landmark, which you might know as the main element.
There is no main region on this page.
Okay, that's a bit unfortunate. So there's no main region. So there's no easy way for me to get from the navigation to the main area of the website. Fortunately, there's another key that we can use, which is the H key to navigate to headings.
Fun and games heading level 2.
Okay, so we found a heading on this page. It's a level 2. I would sort of assume that the main heading for a page would be a H1, but let's take this as a win, I guess. We can press the down arrow to sort of explore this page and see what's on it.
Visited link graphic movie game.
Okay, I'm not quite sure what that is.
Link pinball.
Pinball sounds interesting. I think this is mostly links. Let's just use the tab key then.
Movie game R lens link graphic.
Okay, there's not a link for an AR lens, but that doesn't sound too interesting to me. Let's try pinball. That sounds like a fun game. Also sounds like I might actually be able to do that with a keyboard.
Movie game pinball link graphic.
Excellent. Let's go there.
Enter. To get missing image descriptions, open the context menu. To get missing image descriptions, open the context menu. Graphic page has no links. Space Jam Full Court Pinball Dash in theaters July 16th and on HBO Max trademark. To get missing image descriptions, open the context menu. Graphic loading. Privacy.
That's quite the introduction for this page. I'm not quite sure what to say about that. It doesn't really tell me that I'm on a pinball game now, but let's use the same steps that we used on the last page to see what's on there. So we can press the Q key to see if there's a main landmark.
There is no main region on this page.
Okay, that's not there. Let's try a heading. So we press H.
There are no headings on this page.
Okay, also no headings. What else? It's a game, so I would assume there are some buttons. So let's try pressing B, which should bring us to the next button.
There are no buttons on this page.
Okay, so there is also no button. Okay, let's see if there's just any focusable thing on this page at all.
Terms of use link.
Okay, I'm on terms of use. That's not really where I want to go. Let's try going back.
Privacy policy link.
Wow.
Space Jam Full Court Pinball Dash in theaters July 16th and on.
Okay, so there's no focusable thing on this page aside from some things in the footer. I tapped out of the site for now. Okay, I'm just gonna give up on the new website. Let's try playing a game on the old website. Maybe that works. So I'm gonna switch over to Junior Jam.
Junior Jam - Google Chrome frame Junior Jam.
Excellent. So we're presented with a page with a game called Match the Monsters. Let's see what's on this page. I'll press tab.
Junior Jam link graphic null.
And for some reason, I am being dropped in the middle of the website. That's not very helpful. Let's use the arrow key to navigate up a bit, see what's there.
Block quote end. Blank. Here's your first nerd link. Click on the monster you think he changes into.
Okay, so it's asking me to match the nerd log with one of the monsters presented below. I see an image. Let's hear if that has any information for us at all.
Nerdlink graphic.
Okay, so it just says nerd log and that it's a graphic. There are 5 nerd logs in the film, and they changed into the 5 monsters. Unfortunately, the alt text for this image doesn't present me with enough information to be able to match it to any of the monsters. So at that point, it would just be guessing, which doesn't sound like a lot of fun. So let's turn off JAWS and try to do this with a keyboard.
JAWS perfect with JAWS dialog. ARIA Junior Jam - Google.
Thank you, JAWS. Okay, so now that JAWS is turned off, let's try to do this with a keyboard, and we'll use the same controls that we've been doing in the last few demos. So I see a nerd log. Who do they turn into? I think it's the orange one, and not because I prepared this. So pressing return tells me that I'm right. Yay, success. Finally, I've had some fun. Let's try that again. Let's do another one. That looked kind of sad. Let's try tabbing. Okay, I can get into the page. I think the red one. Oh, okay. Well, I might be wrong, but at least I had fun. So turns out I can actually play this game. That's pretty good. We've done the 3 demos. So what are the conclusions we can draw? Remember the 3 questions that we asked earlier? Does corporations promising to be accessible translate into accessible websites? No, it does not. If accessibility isn't made a requirement, the end product won't be accessible, regardless of how much corporations pledge to be. So if corporations don't care more, then we should. We developers, designers. At no point did the original team ask the suits if they could make this new fancy website accessible. Accessibility isn't a feature. It's not something extra. It's a core component of the web, and it always has been ever since the invention of the web. If you're not sure that what you made is accessible, a good place to start is to tab through it with a keyboard. While you do, make sure that you can get to all of the controls and that you can always see where focus is.
Question 2. Have 2 decades worth of experience in tooling made the web more accessible? Well, yes and no. For users, tools such as VoiceOver and JAWS definitely help make the web more accessible. For developers, the amount of new tools we need to learn does make us jacks of all trades and masters of none. This is a hard line to walk. If you only know how to use a hammer, everything will be a nail. However, there are basic tools like HTML that we should make time to master, because as we have seen, a website created in HTML and inline styling is still accessible 25 years on. So know your tools and use them in an appropriate way. With HTML, that could be using landmarks, such as the main tag to divide your page, or the correct headings to subdivide your document. With general development, it could be the accessibility tab in DevTools to check an element's semantics.
And is the new Space Jam movie better than the old one? That's really the big question that we're all asking. And no, it's not. And neither is the new website. But maybe we can improve that a tiny bit. Remember the fake button that we looked at earlier and added some ARIA to? Let's see if we can actually fix that. And who knows, maybe it even aligns with the solution that you came up with. Let's go back to the new website. Here we have our button. And as you might remember, pressing it didn't do anything. I actually think this might be because the event listeners for the space and return key aren't hooked up. So the OZ events simply aren't listened for, so nothing will happen. But maybe we can work around that. So we added some semantic information with the role, the ARIA label, and we added it to the tab index. But instead of doing all those things, what if maybe we use a button element, which was designed to do buttony stuff? Let's see if it works now. So I press the tab key, focuses on the button. Great, we got this far. Let's try pressing return. Let's see if it now actually works. And it does. We can now actually read the synopsis. So by using the button element, we fix it. We improved this website live in Rome. So with that, I want to say that's all, folks. Thank you so much.